Day 6, healing the inner child. The theme is your younger self still needs love. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the childhood wounds, how that shape adult behavior. Because as an adult, we go through things, and it's learned behavior from when we was a child, the values and morals that we picked up as a child, being a product of our environment, and we take that into our adulthood, which means we take that into our relationships, which means that's why your relationships fail, friendships fail, or you have a lot of women, they just can't get along with other women. Well, that is learned behavior. It's nothing that the other woman did to them. It is just learned behavior of seeing that their aunts or their cousins are seeing how the women in their life treated other women. But as a child looking at that, let me explain what that looked like. As a child looking at, other women, their competition, is because what the child didn't process then is that the reason why their aunts or their moms may have looked at the women differently is because their uncle or their dad was cheating with that other woman. So they had reason to feel a type of way. But what you seen as a child is mistreat all women. Look at all women funny. Look at all women as a threat. So now in your adulthood, you can't have true friendship, female friendship, because it's a trust broken that you created as a child. Which, what I tell you guys, as a child, we process a lie and then we make it the truth, right? Because as a child, we process it as a child mindset, meaning that, okay, all these women, just look at them dirty. You process that as the truth. But the real truth is they had problems with those ladies. That's what you see. But now as an adult, as I go on and on. Anyway, so how childhood wounds shape adult behavior. Childhood wounds shape adult behavior. I'm going to give you a couple of ways. Childhood wounds is like a trauma or neglect. Rewire the brain for survival, leading to adult patterns such as relationship difficulties, trust issues, unhealthy attachment, fear of intimacy, abandonment, and mental health struggles. With the mental health struggles, that is the anxiety, the depression, PTSD, and self-sabotaging behavior. That is what a lot of us do. We self-sabotage before we even get it going through addiction, people-pleasing, conflict, and avoidance. When you're dealing with your childhood wounds, that is how you affect yourself as an adult, right? In every relationship because of what you went through. The trauma and the neglect, right? And the self-sabotaging and unhealthy attachments. You create those things because it's learned behavior. A lot of things can be fixed in your adulthood if you just understand that it's learned behavior. Learned behavior can be changed. You can change that. You can rewrite what was, right? Whatever you believe before, you can rewrite that. It's an easy fix, but you just don't know. And that's what a lot of people, they tell you to go, you need to go heal your childhood wounds, and you need to go heal, you need to do all these things, but they don't explain to you, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? And then you fix it on your own, still from a child mindset, because you never grew into the adult. The adult is the healed version of you. So this is when you need to learn how to reparent yourself, right? So once you identify the childhood wounds and it's affecting your adulthood, you need to learn how to reparent yourself, because in the ways that you can reparent yourself is through compassion, speaking gently over yourself, guiding yourself gently, speaking kind words over yourself. So you grew up in a household that everything you did was wrong and you just stupid, everything you do is stupid, everything you think is stupid, everything that come out your mouth is just stupid. This is how they felt. And so you grew up with the feeling of, okay, if I say something, they're going to think I'm stupid. How many of y'all sat in a class and did not understand something, but you didn't want to ask a question because you was afraid that it was going to be a stupid question? Or that the people was going to look at you like you're stupid or laugh at you, right? Because somewhere in your childhood and in your life, what happened is when you would ask a question, they would give you funny looks or look at you stupid. Sometimes those people gave you those looks or called you stupid is because you processed something that's way beyond their capacity, and since they couldn't answer the question, they made you look like you're done. See, it's projected behavior. And so you reparent yourself by speaking to that. You challenge everything, every bad thing or negative thing that you said, you challenge yourself. You challenge that. Do you understand me? Challenge it with, if you had to parent yourself, if you got to birth the baby you, It's usually your second born. But anyway, you got to rebirth that thing. How would you raise you? Because you understand who you are. You understand the challenges that you went through. But how do you communicate? What ways would you communicate? Well, because it's you, I want you to learn how to do it gently. Because as an adult, in our childhood wounds, that's how we heal those childhood wounds, by being the parent that was supposed to do those things for you. So that's what it means by reparenting yourself. Now, I want you to learn how to speak love to your younger self. So during my healing process, what I had to do is I had to go back to my childhood, because that's the root cause. I had to go back to, why do I feel this way? I had to go back to my childhood. And a lot of people will look at that as, well, that's crazy. That's talking to yourself. Why would you have to speak love to your younger self? And that's what I learned how to do, right? So here's your homework. I want you to write a letter to your inner child. Now, here with the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, this is what I teach you guys about. Here's what I teach you guys about journaling. I'm sorry, excuse me, guys. Teach you about journaling. I don't want you to think about what you're writing. I want you to write. I want you to start it off as you writing a letter to your younger you. So if I say baby Nye, right? Little Nye, whatever. I want you to speak to her from a place of where you are now. And now she's your child, because you're learning to reparent yourself. And I want you to speak to her. First off, you're going to let her know, hey, you remember what we imagined as a kid? The imagination that we had, we were going to be this, that, and the third. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. We're finally living that now. I'm finally learning to not care anymore. I don't go hide in the corner anymore. I don't go sit somewhere that I'm not seen anymore. I'm actually out there, and I'm bold, and I'm out here, and I'm doing my thing. And speak to her. I don't want you to think about what you're going to write. I want you to speak to her as if she's your child, and all of your dreams, because now you are an adult now. Now you're the one that can protect her or him that everybody neglected to protect. Okay? So write that letter. And then, of course, declaration. Here we go. I lovingly care for the younger version of me. I speak healing, safety, and tenderness over my inner child. Let's say it together. I lovingly care for the younger version of me. I speak healing, safety, and tenderness over my inner child.